It's a rainy, dreary morning, and this won't be very pretty. Muddy and all that, but I'm filming this part largely for me is to keep a record. I'm going to call it the archaeology of the Gasthaus, Hockling Gasthaus if you wish. I'm about to make a floor here. So it's going to be a little, and I never build something that can't be easily unbuilt, but it's going to be a little harder to see what's here. And what I've done is by covering that area against the wall with black opaque plastic for months, several months, it killed all the weeds. It knocked them all back. You can see stuff's beginning to go again a little bit. But I did that because I needed to see what was here. This barn is the third, I think, the third barn that was in this place. I never saw the other two, but I think it's the third. It might be the second. But anyway, the remains of one of those barns is all this stonework. And my grandfather built this barn. I've added on to it, and I'm in the process of saving it. And it will continue. But anyway, the stones that are in the ground are what's archaeological. I say there's really no written record or visual record of what was here, and I don't quite understand it. This hump of stone, I just don't know. Maybe it was an entrance. Not sure. It could be as I work my way down this hill. I'll continue to do the same sort of thing, and all through here, there are features, and maybe I'll be able to figure it out. Now the mining that was done later and disrupted so much, that's probably going to be a little easier to figure out than this. But in any case, back to this. The wall that's there is curved. It started to fail. The drainage got blocked, and partly I think because of something my grandfather did. He poured a concrete berm that filled the whole thing like a low swimming pool, and for several years that wet manure or even just water froze and this is my theory, and began to push that wall and make it lean toward me. It's one of the reasons I'm going to set sills there. These logs, charred, they come from the neighbor's barn that burnt, and then he gave me the there you can pretty clearly see how that part of the wall's leaning. I'll get them up there and level them up and make them straight. But anyway, the wall, now the one stone there is plastered on the end. I don't understand that. That vertical end of a wall, I didn't do that. The dry stone that's past it was my effort. I may tear that out, my effort to take it on out. It's been a struggle. That hole right there, I dug under the wall to let the water out, because it still continues to be a real issue. The way the mortar was smeared and plastered speaks of later work. And really, the stonework isn't necessarily good work. The way it cracked and the places that it cracked speaks of how it was moving. Maybe if now I say it's muddy and it's wet, but at least I can show that I've found that it drains. So when I cover this, it will be draining away. These cracks say something. I mean, it says something about poor stonework, which I suspect was done later than the original. Now that crack isn't because of the poor stonework, but I've even suspected that underneath, in this corner, underneath a concrete pad that my grandpa poured, there might have been a well or something, and he might have poured that pad as a way to try to keep it from getting so muddy. But anyway, that plastered sort of concrete mortar really speaks of later work than the original barn. These stones, this is my doing. That barn bridge, the stonework for the barn bridge, that's my doing, which is not going to get buried. And this will not get exactly buried, it'll just go out of sight. Now maybe if I stand here you can see how curved that wall is. Yeah, I think you can. And I've got to straighten, well, I already did a lot to do what I could to push that wall back. But the whole wall up through is not really straight. I'll straighten it. And what I'm going to build here, you'll be able to see. But anyway, for the record, before I go any further, I wanted to film this stonework that's going to go out of sight. Alright, kind of a strange video, I'm sure, but as I say, it is very much for the record. Alright, bye for now.